Welcome back to First Take. An extremely unfortunate scene in yesterday's finals game as Tyrese Haliburton exited with an Achilles injury in the first quarter. Haliburton is one of several notable players to suffer this injury, along with Tatum and Lillard. Markieff Morris joining us now. Markieff, top of the morning to you. Tell me this, how does Haliburton's injury affect the rest of the East next year?
It just adds to the list of injuries, man. It was already a wide open East. And first, let me say this, man. Get well soon, brother, man. I know that feeling as a player, like
Absolutely.
going down in one of the biggest games, bro. Just get well soon. Family praying for you. Everybody's praying for you, man. Everybody want to see you do good. But it just changed the even trajectory of Indiana. Like, even with them, like, what direction do they go in? Like, I mean, it's one of those things where it just opens the East up a lot more than what it already was. Like, it's just an unfortunate event.
I'll tell you one thing. It puts a lot of pressure on the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. I mean, you got Boston, if you want to say they're in a gap year. We'll see what Jaylen Brown does as Superman for that team. Yeah. We don't know what's happening with the Milwaukee Bucks, even though everything is okay for now with Giannis. Cleveland is bringing back that same lineup. That'll put pressure on Cleveland. They get over the hump. You got Miami. That's still an option potentially for Giannis making moves. But as you think about it, this thing is wide open next year because this guy is the engine for their team. So Leon Rose and Worldwide West and the Knicks and Jalen Brunson, with the crew they have right now, is that enough? And now does that make that market more attractive for a head coach that sees how open the Eastern Conference is right now to say that's a job that I want?
That's a
I don't
great
have
point, Jay.
I don't have a disagreement with what you said. I have a problem with you not elaborating, extending it far beyond those players. You're the New York Knicks, and you let go of Tom Thibodeau. Where the hell is your plan? What kind of replacement did you have in place? What kind of succession plan did you have? You just gonna get rid of the dude and then you asking the Atlanta Hawks for permission to talk to Quinn Snyder? I mean, you got to be kidding me. You can't. I don't disrespect to Quinn Snyder, but you don't replace Tom Thibodeau with Quinn Snyder. So now they're talking about Taylor Jenkins, the former coach in Memphis, who we all respect is a damn good coach, but he hasn't achieved more than Tom Thibodeau. So that's an issue there. And then you have to look at the deals that Leon Rose made for Mikal Bridges, where you trade 5 first-round picks for unprotected, which limited your ability to go and get a KD who wanted to come to New York, who you were interested in bringing to New York, but you didn't really have the requisite assets to be appealing enough to the Phoenix Suns. So all of those things are relevant. Let's also remember the Miami Heat have to be on the clock to some degree. You don't want to get Kevin Durant because you'd have to give up Jaime Jaquez and Highsmith?
That would mean.
Really?
That would mean that Miami has to, that would mean that Miami has to be all in on Giannis.
Hold on. Okay, fine.
If you're going to take a swing, if you're going to take a swing or something, like, all right, if I give these stats, I have to be on for you.
Oh, go keep.
Or
it's just the way they are.
Or they're saying with all those injuries, we could possibly win with this team.
Oh, no.
That's another thing that Miami could come.
No. They better not be saying that. They better not be saying that, Keith.
In the East, you can't. With that team, I'm just saying in the East, with the way the East looks right now, do you have the game plan to beat a Cleveland team?
Okay.
Other than that, it's wide open.
Hold on. Stay right there, Keith. I got it.
And I'm just saying for next year alone.
I got you. I got to say this in front of you and Jay right here. Oh, I can't wait to say this to both of y'all. Are you trying to tell me that KD with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, with the Knicks' absence of depth, Cleveland getting exposed, and Jason Tatum getting hurt, you trying to tell me you're the Miami Heat and you didn't see that opportunity right in front of your face?
And Stephen A., we're going to get into that because we have to discuss Miami on another
I said this earlier.
Good. What did you say, Keith? What did you say?
No, I'm sorry. I said this earlier. I was disappointed that Miami Heat didn't make this happen. That doesn't make sense. It's exactly what you said. No disrespect to the players. Jaime Jaquez, Highsmith, and Jokic. Like, I'm giving that up for a player of KD.
Come on, man. For KD? In South Beach?
I hear you.
Yeah, You got to make that. This is what I'm talking. Listen.
But the Knicks need to capitalize as well as Miami on this.
I understand that, but the Knicks lost to an Indiana Pacers team that one could argue they would not have lost to if Tyrese Haliburton was not playing. With Tyrese Haliburton out the next season, clearly because of the torn Achilles, you can still look at the New York Knicks as presently constructed, and you have the potential to make noise. Miami's not in that class. Miami's not in that class. And this is why I brought up Pat Riley. And I said, this is the winner within, one of the great, great champions. I love and revere this man, Pat Riley. But at some point in time, how many players are you missing out on getting to South Beach? It's South Beach, y'all. I'm trying to, everybody, Jay's here, Keith's here. Ain't too many people don't want to come to South Beach now. Am I lying? Am I lying, Jay? Am I lying, Keith? Who don't want to go to Miami? Come on now.
Can I bring up that?
Come on now.
Can I bring up the complete opposite, though?
Go ahead, please.
I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about New York. Obviously, we're going to talk about Miami.
Yeah.
And a lot of pressure, I think, on New York more so than Miami, even though there's a lot of question on Miami.
Yes.
I think it puts the most pressure on the Cleveland Cavaliers, though.
Okay.
I mean, if there was ever a window or a door that's open for Donovan Mitchell and all the talk that people are talking about, he can't be a superstar, he's too small, Darius Garland, the injuries they've had, it has to be now for Cleveland.
You know what? I got to tell you something right now. Everybody keeps forgetting the Detroit Pistons. Without Ivy. They'll be back next year.
Right.
I believe in Detroit, y'all. I believe in Detroit.
So we've got Detroit, Cleveland, Miami, and New York that need to capitalize next year.
Yes.
7 was neck and neck up until the third quarter when the Thunder ran away with the lead, outscoring Indiana 34-20 to take a 13-point lead in the fourth. Finals MVP, SGA finished with 29 points and 13 coming in the second half. Here's SGA after the game.
A lot of hard work, a lot of hours in the gym. This isn't just a win for me. This is a win for my family. This is a win for my friends. This is a win for everybody that was in my corner growing up. This is a win for the fans, the best fans in the world. I love you guys.
Not so long ago, Shea, this was a 22-win team. So what does it mean to you now to be standing here as a champion?
Yeah, it means everything. It's why you play the sport. You play the sport to win. You play every sport to win. We have a team full of competitors. And we did what it took this year to be champions, and we deserve this. We rose to the moment, and here we are.
With last night's win, OKC finished the season with 84 wins in the regular season and playoffs combined, tied for the third most, just behind the 95-96 Bulls and 2015-16 Warriors. Okay, Stephen A., coming to you on this.
Yes.
Do you view OKC as an all-time great team?
No, I do not. I think that they're an all-time great defensive team. But overall, I look at their offense, and they would have had trouble with a lot of teams. Let me just put it to you this way. And I want to correct it because I'm not trying to imply that they're not great or anything like that, that they don't.
No, it's not implied. Yeah, we get it.
They don't warrant the question. I think they warrant the question. I just would say, let me put it to you this way. I believe the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant would have beaten them. I believe the San Antonio Spurs with Duncan, nobody in those boys would have beaten them. I believe the Miami Heat with D. Wade, LeBron, Bosh, and those boys would have beaten them. I believe the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe would have beaten them. I believe the Chicago Bulls with Jordan and Pippen and those brothers would have beaten them. That's 5 right there. Now, when we're talking about you as an all-time great team, I can't come up with 5 opponents off the top of my head that would have taken you out. You understand? And when I say that with very big confidence because offensively, it was a struggle watching them at times in these playoffs, where you get a bit one-dimensional and there's but so much ISO ball for Shea that you could call. Jalen Williams, who I think is a stud and has every piece imaginable except one component, consistency. He plays on both ends of the court. Only 1 or 2 players in the entire NBA this year, him and Evan Mobley, that made an all-NBA team and an all-NBA defensive team. Only 2 players did that, those 2. But he needs to be more consistent. You see some of the other pieces that they have, I'm like, too many times their offense was stale. And not only that, when I watch a T.J. McConnell, you having a problem stopping him in the damn third quarter.
That was the design,
You know
though.
what I'm saying? I understand that, but still, he was having his way.
It's a
I got
backup
it.
guard. We saw what happened when he played against
It's not a
the
big deal.
here.
It's not a big deal. I'm just simply saying, when I think about those great teams that I mentioned and what they bring to the table, I don't see OKC beating any of those teams. And that is where I stand.
No, please.
No, I'm curious.
No, you were
I'm
shaking.
curious.
You were shaking your head at it. You were
Okay.
shaking your head at it.
So I can understand relative to those great teams how seasoned a number of those players on those teams were. This was the youngest NBA Finals team we've had since the NBA merger.
Since
The
76,
MVP,
77 with
correct.
the Portland Trailblazers. Yes.
The MVP is 26 years old. He's only a 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, recently MVP,
Okay.
Western Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP, led the league in scoring at 32 points per game, has that title, and put himself in the rarefied air of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and so many others by being the few to accomplish that all in 1 year. So that's one. That's a tremendous season from their leader. Secondly, when I think about this overall unit, I mean, what they represented, and even you can lump the Pacers into this, was the best of basketball. And I think people sleep on the fact that defense can win you games, and that's okay.
Okay.
I mean, Stephen A., I was on the program where you sounded like this. Defensive efficiency, half-court defense, defense versus on-ball
9 different
screen.
categories. 9 different
1, 2,
defensive
3,
categories.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 categories that they led defensively.
goodness.
To me, that's wild to get that commitment. Jay, you know this, the hardest thing to get players that are pros to play is defense, and they owned it. All right, on the other side of things, you know, I understand their offense struggled at times, but J-Dub, is he 23, 24?
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren, 23, 24? We saw, maybe it's not like the Titans of the past, but away from the first round, they took down Nikola Jokic, who, by the way, we had been saying is the best player in the world, and they made him look human for stretches. They took down Anthony Edwards, who a lot of people, especially on this program, said he's the future face, if not the face, if he was able to make it to the NBA Finals of the NBA.
Yeah.
This was not any cupcake walk for them to make it here. And then I think, you know, you got to put more respect on the Pacers, too. Going into the finals, I saw a number, and it was staggering. They had the third best offensive rating in NBA history coming in. That's how great. Leading the NBA in made threes. Tyrese Haliburton, 4 go-ahead or game-time, game-winning types of shots. They were special. And so I don't want to diminish them saying that they're not maybe in the caliber of the others, because they are one of the youngest and they were graduating in real time. When Jaylen Brown won the championship, he talked about graduation. Like, we have to go through the fire. It may not be perfect. We saw a lot of the Celtics' flaws before they figured it out, and we still account for a lot of the Celtics' flaws even to this day. The analytics, the threes falling for those types of things, right? This team is flawed. It's the best argument.
It's good, but it's not the best. No, it's not the best. Well, go ahead.
This team is flawed offensively, but it doesn't matter when you have SGA, who averaged 30 in the NBA Finals. It doesn't matter.
It would matter against those 5 teams I told you about.
But Jada, bro.
It would matter.
Respect, I said bro. Big bro. 17, 19, 26, 27, something like that, 40. And then obviously had to deal with some, inconsistencies late, but then finished off with 20. When you needed him to make a bucket, he made those timely buckets. Rim protector. He was that dude. He realized something that I think, Jay, you and I really know. And Stephen A., I talked to your daughter. She said you could hoop. You understand this too. We respect your history as well. Sometimes when your shot is not falling, you know you can have an impact on a game. And Chet embraced that role of defense. And just like, okay, cool, 6 for 8 from the field, 18 points offensively. The last point I'll make is, I grew up watching the Oklahoma City Thunder Big Three. Love them. Russ, James, KD, all of them MVPs, future Hall of Famers. They did something that those guys didn't. And they brought a banner home for the first time.
Because you went on long. I'm going to let him get it here because I got to get back.
Stephen,
I got to get back at you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You want to drop the mic?
Yeah, I did. I learned from the best, bro. I learned from the best. You know what I'm saying?
Ball control.
Yeah, usually, we typically agree. I have to agree with Big Brother on this one. And I don't think it diminishes OKC's title at all. I think it just puts it into historical context. So you talk about one of the youngest teams ever. I think because of that youth, it's hard for me to talk about them as an all-time great team because I'm still watching them mature, and I wonder what the end product could be.
Yes.
So defensively, historically, that data is off the charts. I think offensively and the lack of maturity around it, I'm like, I can't put them in that upper tier category yet. because of some of the youthfulness that I've seen and a lot of the questions I have about what the end product looks like.
Well, let me say this to you. I'm going to throw it back, and you call it a mic drop. How about this one?
Okay.
I want to remind you, that Oklahoma City Thunder team that you mentioned that couldn't get it done, it was KD, it was Russell Westbrook, it was James Harden. Let's not forget Serge Ibaka. Let's not forget Reggie Jackson.
Squad.
They had a squad. Excuse me, that squad might have beat this squad. And oh, by the way, who they lose to? One of the teams I mentioned. You better ask somebody. So I want to hear, you know what, listen, I get if you're talking about their trajectory, they're young.
Yeah.
You know what, in a few years we can have this conversation. Mad respect and appreciation for what we saw from the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're the champions. We're not taking anything away from them. Today is a day to celebrate them.
Exactly.
But understand that when you're looking, if you're going to ask an historical question in terms of where they rank in history, then we got to take into account history. I'm not going to say they would beat LeBron with D-Wade and Bosh. I'm not going to say they would beat Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker and those brothers. I'm not going to say they would have beat Shaq and Kobe. They damn sure wouldn't have beat MJ, Pippen, and the crew. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do it. And by the way, don't even get me started. No chance. No chance against KD with the Splash Brothers. No chance.
No. I would have never said that this is a squad that could go toe-to-toe with those.
But that's what
Are you saying they're top 10?
No, but
Do you view the Thunder as an all-time great team?
I'm saying on the day after, we have to celebrate their all-time greatness, which is their defense, which is the indivital season.
Well, then tell us, don't ask the question, Janae. Tell us, don't ask the question. But don't just try to take it because you're being sentimental.
In the
You're
Pacers.
being sentimental. You're being sentimental.
No, I'm not. I have a question for you. What the Pacers accomplished probably one of the all-time feats of postseason in sports ever?
It probably.
Yes,
and this team pulled it off against that. Like, I just want to show respect.
With their best player tearing his Achilles in the first quarter.
Yeah,
mad respect.
But it's still respectful.
It is.
It's still respectful.
I just want to make sure
We're just talking the game.
With Aaron Gordon having
I don't want us to poo-poo it because it's not the sexiest.
We see enough sensitivity out there about how people want us to cover the game. Don't add to that drivel.
I'm here to stand.
It's more appreciation.
We're talking.
Yes, I'm here to appreciate.
Excuse me. We appreciate it.
We appreciate them.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I went back and forth with Oklahoma City. I went to Oklahoma City and Minnesota, and ain't no direct flights. I went to Oklahoma City there and Indianapolis. I've been there celebrating them.
Big brother, this is like
you
you saying LeBron is the second greatest player of all time. Like, that's not hate.
Exactly. It's
like,
not.
It's just putting, for him, he puts it in historical context.
I just wanted to take my time to celebrate them while you guys told, what
we've been celebrating them.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,